Special hour of HQ on tap as day 2 of the NFL draft comes to pass. Joe Musso flanked by 2 of the top targets in the draft game. That's draft analyst Ryan Wilson, longtime general manager Rick Spielman. Fellas, they say the best things in life are worth waiting for, but they're not going to cost you $30 million. Often projected as a top 5 pick, Will Levis had to sleep on his NFL future after spending the entirety of round 1 in the green room, but it didn't take long on Friday. Levis coming off the board at number 33 to the Tennessee Titans, who traded up to go get him. The Kentucky QB joins a crowded QB room with Ryan Tannehill and Malik Willis, but could be the heir apparent in the Music City. A big arm and now even bigger chip on his shoulder. Levis, highly motivated heading into his opportunity. Here's the newest Titan on the highs and lows of the last 2 days.
Last night was tough, but I just, stayed positive, and I knew that what was meant to be was going to happen. And then when I saw that they traded up for me, that alone was telling that, they wanted me, they wanted this to happen. So, just really, really excited and thankful for the opportunity. I heard from, Mr. Carthon and coach, and it was, I knew I was going to cry, and the tears came immediately. And, I didn't really know how the conversation was going to go. It's one of those things where you feel like you're going to handle yourself and be composed, but the waterworks started flowing, and just emotions kind of overwhelmed me.
So it's not the draft stage, instead a Zoom call, but he gets the call from Tennessee, a big one here at number 33, a far different pay scale from pick number 4 to pick number 33. Here's a look at some other notables on day 2. Joey Porter Jr., following in the footsteps of Pops, joining that defensive unit in Pittsburgh, the corner, selected first overall in the 2nd round. Michael Mayer, the strong-jawed tight end out of Notre Dame, making his way down to Las Vegas to join forces with Jimmy Garoppolo. A couple of the big names as well, notably Hendon Hooker, the quarterback, joining the Detroit Lions. All right, back in studio with the guys for some reaction. We must start with Will Levis. It was a long day in round 1. A lot of people in his ears telling him he's a top 5 pick. We see pick number 4, and we said, hold on, this is going to be a wait. It becomes a wait overnight, and then he goes early here on Friday. Levis's opportunity could be a silver lining in Tennessee. How do you like the fit and the opportunity there for Levis?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great fit for Tennessee. It's the heir apparent to Tannehill. I don't know how strongly they feel about Malik Willis, the way he performed last year. So even though he had to go through that agony, sitting in that green room all night, and you feel bad for the kids that are there and don't get selected, he flew home, and then today was a great day for him. He got an opportunity to go to a team that wanted him, that he has an opportunity to become the franchise quarterback there, and he has a chance to sit and learn for a year.
You know better than either of us sitting at this table that it's all about how you respond to the adversity in the game of football. This is some early adversity in his NFL career. How do you think Will Levis responds here with the opportunity in Tennessee?
Honestly, I think it takes some of the pressure off of him, because had he been a top 5 pick, then he is immediately the face of the franchise. He's having that press conference with the GM today explaining why he's the face and why he's worth it. Instead, he got served a little bit of humble pie, fair or not, went home, had to sleep on it, probably didn't sleep very well, and then found out today pretty quickly that there was a team out there that wanted him, and it was the Tennessee Titans. Traded to 33, and if you want to make it a first-round pick, go ahead. He missed it by 1 slot in most years. And I think, again, as Rick alluded to, Tannehill's 35 in the final year of his deal. That offense is built around the run game. That defense helps keep the offense in short fields, and I think that's a great thing for a young quarterback with so much uncertainty. You said you weren't sure how they felt about Malik Willis. I have a pretty good idea. You don't trade up to 33 to get a quarterback if you like the guy you took last year in the 3rd round.
Yeah, and that's in back-to-back drafts. Implications there for Willis. QB4 comes off the board at 33. QB5 comes off at 68, and it's a notable one as well. Hendon Hooker, now a Detroit Lion there with pick number 68. Ryan, I want to go to you first here. Hooker suffers the knee injury late in his Tennessee career a year ago after a stellar season. We're not having this conversation on day 2 likely if he doesn't suffer that knee injury. What type of get is this for the Lions?
I love the fit, and Rick, I know you do too, and that's an interesting point. Had he not had the ACL injury late in the Heisman campaign, there was talk anyway without the ACL injury that maybe he goes late in round 1 and team trades up to get that 5th-year option like you did with Teddy Bridgewater back in 2014. But I think, again, similar to Tannehill, he goes to Detroit with Jared Goff is the guy for a year, maybe 2. You can come back next year when he's fully healthy and reevaluate what you want to do with your quarterbacks. But that team did such a great job drafting on both sides of the ball, and their offense is already in pretty good shape before they got Jahmyr Gibbs. I love the pick.
You guys have been out here all night glowing about the Detroit Lions draft board, and with good reason here. Hooker, an awesome get at number 68. The ecosystem could really determine the success, and he has some time to learn. How do you like the way things are lining up right now for Hooker in Detroit?
Yeah, no, I think it's a perfect opportunity for him, and he can learn behind Jared Goff. There was questions about, I'm 25 years old, I'm coming off an ACL, and maybe 4 or 5 years ago, we're sitting in those draft rooms, and we're saying, well, he's too old. And by the time he gets on the field, he's going to be 28. But the way they have changed the rules to protect the quarterback, player safety, these guys are playing into their late 30s right now, so he has plenty of time to develop, and I think he's going to have a heck of a career.
Yeah, Hendon Hooker, now a Detroit Lion, going to be excited to see how that situation is massaged in the years to come in Detroit. Let's go a little dealer's choice here, guys. Take me anywhere on the draft board day 2, a pick that really you found at the intersection of value and opportunity, a situation that fits as well. Ryan, who's a guy that really jumped off the board at you day 2?
I'm going to go with Drew Sanders, the linebacker out of Arkansas. Rick, we've talked about him a lot on the With the First Pick podcast. First-round talent, transfer from Alabama where he was an edge rusher, didn't get as much playing time as he wanted, comes to Arkansas, moves to off-ball, but that versatility is what made him so exciting. A chess piece that I feel like will have a great opportunity for success early on. They needed help at linebacker in Denver. He's going to go there. The athleticism shines. He's a little undersized. He runs around blocks, but all off-ball linebackers do these days. But again, he's a sideline-to-sideline guy. Didn't run during the pre-draft process because of hamstring, but he plays like a 4'6" guy.
Yeah, and he's 6'5", so he's not that undersized. He is lean built.
Right.
But when he was at Alabama, he was behind Will Anderson, so he wasn't going to get on the field. What made him so valuable this year was that he showed that he can play from a stacked linebacker position. And when I watched him on tape, the one thing that defensive coordinators will try to do is predict what the protection is and then try to get him isolated on the running back. And when you see him isolated on a running back, trying to pass protect, it's a mismatch all day long, and that's where he's going to thrive.
Watching this dynamic develop on With the First Pick podcast. Get involved right now. Download and subscribe today. It's been a whole lot of fun watching you guys spar over these names. I'll let us present one more. Your favorite day 2 pick here, Rick. Who jumps off the board at you?
Well, I have to go back to Hendon Hooker. I just can't get off of that. And the reason I say that is everybody wanted to discredit him for the type of offense that he played in.
Yeah.
But he is athletic. He sees the field. He still has to execute the throws, and he shows great accuracy at all levels of the field. The other thing that really stood out to me when we were able to sit there and talk with him, this was, as you would say, a fine young man.
Yes, sir.
And every Tennessee player that we talked to said that his car was in the player parking lot, first one in the morning and the last one to leave at night. And there was no question he was the leader of that football team. Reminded me a lot of when we drafted Teddy Bridgewater. Not boisterous, but he's got that aura about him that people just want to follow his lead. And that's why I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the NFL.
Everything you are looking for in a leader. Shout out to the folks in our stats department as well. Here's one that jumped out at me. 49% of the snaps in the NFL last season taken by players drafted in the 4th round or later. So there is work to be done. Let's get to work, guys. Best available. Who's a name that's still on the board that you think presents some opportunity for a team to go nab early here on day 3?
Well, I think there's still a lot of great names out there, but Ryan, I'm going to shoot to you. I'm going to give you the first opportunity to give me a player.
All right, I'm going to go with running back Roschon Johnson out of Texas because played behind Bijan Robinson, as I like to say, low mileage, which means he didn't carry the ball a lot because he played behind Bijan Robinson. A special teams ace, and I don't just mean in terms of returning kicks, in terms of coverage. He played, as Rick likes to say, with his hair on fire. We talked to him at the Combine, incredibly modest, hard worker, very serious about football. I think he can be a day 1, day 2 back, and by that I mean he can be a backup running back, no problem, and then provide on special teams. Also will block you into the stands, much like his teammate Bijan. So I love the idea that he's still available. I thought he had a real chance to go on day 2.
Yeah, and I'm going to stay with the running back theme here, and I'm going to go with Eric Gray, the running back out of Oklahoma. Transferred from Tennessee. When I watched him on tape, he is a physical, violent runner. He's got great vision. He can make a quick cut in line to avoid the hit, but when someone's closing on him, he's going to lower his shoulder and you're going to know that you were hit by a running back. He's the one that delivers the blow, not the defender. The only knock on him probably is the overall pure speed in the open field, but he catches the ball well in the backfield. He's physical in pass protection. This kid's going to be a very good football player, and is going to make some people happy if when they get him on their team tomorrow.
Yep.
Rick, Ryan, we can't thank you enough here for the insight and all the hard work over here over these last few months. One day left for these teams to shape the future of their franchises, and each and every pick will be picked apart by these two gentlemen on With the First Pick. It is one of the premier podcasts in the entire NFL. These guys going pick by pick, breaking it down day by day, talking about the future of your franchise. Scan that QR code, download, subscribe, and enjoy right now.